We want to be testing offers like we test creative. If you follow Kinship, you probably know that we test creative at scale. We're looking to max out the ad account with the available space to us from an ad capacity standpoint. So if we're not filling up that entire ad capacity, I'm trying to integrate more offers to fill up that rest of that ad account. You want to be working creative offers into that ad account on a consistent basis, using up all of the real estate that you have available to you. So just conceptually start thinking about that way. We want to be testing offers in the same way that we're testing creative and doing that at scale.
All right. Welcome back to The Bottom Line. Taylor, co-pilot, back in the co-pilot seat with me. How we doing?
Good to be here, brother.
Repping UCLA. All right.
Oh, no, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry.
You're sorry about your Bruins?
Very sorry about the Bruins. Yeah. No. It makes me laugh out of embarrassment.
They can turn it around. All right. So today, I think we're diving into something that we've seen be super crucial for brands. Our clients. We've talked a ton about creative testing, creative volume, creative variety. We've talked a lot about cost controls. That is not going to be today's episode. We're going to be talking about the offer. I think one thing that most people overlook. So we're diving deep into offers, what they are, why they matter, how to build the offers. Taylor's going to take you guys into the classroom, show you the ins and outs on how we're conceptually coming up with offers for our clients. We do offer testing here at Kinship, but it could be the missing piece for you guys. And before we get too deep, when you're hearing offer, what does that mean? Let's start with the basics. I think at its core, it's really two things. It's your product plus your price. So you can frame the price in different ways. You can present the product obviously different, but an offer is essentially what you're selling and how much you're charging for it. And what I want to make clear is that, especially in performance marketing, everyone listening to the show, you're running ads to some degree, whether that's on Meta or Google, both, probably both, especially for the way that we set up advertising to be 100% going to new visitors, new customers, especially on Meta. You're asking complete strangers to click on your ad and buy something immediately, right? Like literally going from zero awareness to pulling out their credit card and buying something. So for that to happen, you obviously need to give them a compelling reason. And most of the time, that is going to be the offer. It's going to be obviously your product plus price. So would there be anything that you add to this, or just even just driving home the importance of this, Taylor Lagasse?
Taylor Lagasse, come on. No, I think you nailed it. Again, the things that we typically communicate are the two biggest unlocks within an ad account to find performance and growth and new audiences, just unlock across the board. Is creative, but as well as new offers. And yeah, like Cody had mentioned, we both think that this is pretty underserved. A lot of the love and attention rightfully does go to creative, but it also deserves attention being given to offers as well.
And I would say also, please, can we talk about how most offers are pretty weak, right? Like, I mean, how many times do you end up on a website where it's like 10% off when you sign up for our email list pop up? Like that's not what we're going to be talking about today. That's not going to be the offer that's going to move the needle. You can do so much better than that. And I think what Taylor is going to share is all that. It's not that difficult, right? Like there's obviously, you're going to take them into the classroom today to break down how we're doing it for Kinship, but there's a lot of ways that we can kind of keep it simple, stupid almost, where you're going to be going into the weeds on, what products are most people buying? What's high value and low COGS? So things of that nature that we can start diving into. But why don't we screen share, or just without further ado, let's just jump right into the meat and potatoes of this.
Yeah, and just one additional thing to add is I think something that we started saying to our clients to really get it to resonate with them is we want to be testing creative, we want to be testing offers like we test creative. Right. And if you follow Kinship and you're listening to this podcast, you probably know that we test creative at scale. We're looking to max out the ad account with the available space to us from ad capacity standpoint. And so if we're not filling up that entire ad capacity, like 1,000 ads, 2,500 ads, depending on what your spend threshold is every single month, if we don't have enough creative to fill those spots, I'm trying to integrate more offers to fill up that rest of that ad account, right? You want to be working creative offers into that ad account on a consistent basis, using up all of the real estate that you have available to you. And so just conceptually start thinking about that way. We want to be testing offers in the same way that we're testing creative, right? And doing that at scale. And then the way that you think about offers, yeah, I mean, Cody hit it on the head of the nail, like testing 10% off and, oh, that didn't work for us. Or I can't afford to give 10% off. even that conceptually saying I can't afford to give 10% off is just wrong,
Mm-hmm.
because in all these offers, a lot of time we're actually going after the same like contribution margin goal as the existing offer, the existing top selling product, whatever it is, and you just need to hit a higher, ROAS target on that,
Right.
right, and for it to blend out to the same margin if those products have the same LTV. But now we're going a little bit into it before I actually get
Well, no,
into it.
I think Taylor, that's a good point. Like as you get ready, I think way too many entrepreneurs are trying to be like the legacy brands that never discount. And I want to make clear, we're not going to just say that like offer doesn't just mean discount either. But I think if you're thinking that any kind of promotional offer is going to dilute your brand, first of all, you're not Apple, you're not Nike. Like those brands have decades of awareness and massive marketing budgets, right? Like they can afford to never discount because everyone already knows who they are. Um, so when you're talking about like you, $5 million brand, $10 million brand, bringing in someone cold, never heard of you before, oftentimes like that discount can be crucial. So I think that that is an important point that you're bringing up when it comes to like at least discounting on that note.
No, it's good. But even that, I want to push back on like dilution of brand. If we had a brand, like one of our brands used to do discounts or BOGOs at like crucial moments,
Yeah.
right? And it wasn't like evergreen, it was just at crucial moments. Like that sort of thing does make your business dependent on those moments where, okay, they all know a BOGO is coming once a month. And like
Right.
outside of that BOGO, it's going to be really hard. You're optimizing people on this BOGO and then it's not there anymore. Really mess with ad account optimization. It's hard there. What I'm speaking to and what we're speaking to here today is more so finding offers that you can turn into hero offers that are constantly running. That doesn't dilute your brand. So, like for example, Purdy and Fig, right? Huge upfront offer where they're providing a ton of perceived value, where they get a free gift a part of it. There's a discount on it. But who cares? Like they're seen as a luxury brand, elevated luxury brand. You know what I'm saying? And it's just all about getting customers through the door because they know they're making 400% off that customer over the course of a year. Like the LTV is really crushing it for them. So it's not diluting their brand though. They don't look like a knockoff. They're a premium luxury brand within their space, and looked to as like, yeah, the go-to product. But okay, let's jump into this a little bit. We're getting passionate here. So yeah, some of the things to keep in mind, like this isn't a one size fits all game to be played. You need to really analyze and assess your products that you offer and just your brand in general. But the three things to really keep, well, 3 to 4 things. The three things to really keep in mind here, and we can go deep into them one at a time. Love to have it back and forth with you on this, C-Dub. Would be cost of delivery, not product COGS. So like, what is your product COGS as a percentage of, the AOV or your top line revenue? Because ultimately, product COGS does not equal like total cost of delivery. There's shipping and fulfillment in there, and as you add, additional units to that order, a lot of the time that creates advantages for you, right? When you add an additional product to an order, your shipping and fulfillment cost doesn't double, right? So it creates added margin if you can get people to buy 2 products versus 1 product. And the more room that you have on cost of goods, like the better your cost of goods pricing is, the more room you have to be able to play with, basically like BOGOs, buy 2 get 1 free, and discounts, and to push basically more than 1 product and more than 1 unit on a per order basis. So that's like the first thing to keep in mind here. What's your product COGS at play? Number 2 would be basket predictability. And so like cart predictability. What are people ordering? And so do you have products that are clearly the hero product? Like 50% of the time they're ordering this SKU, or on a different brand, you have a massive product, catalog where they're ordering a million different things at various cart sizes as well. That's going to have a major impact on the type of offers that you put together. So if like example, if there's like high permutations, like in jewelry, for example, like they order a million different things, right? That becomes an offer where it's not specific. And when I mean specific, it's not around a specific product. It's basically like spend X amount of dollars and you drive them to a collection page and then you give them a free gift, or you get free shipping, or, whatever, some sort of discount. Versus if it's very predictable where a specific product is being ordered every single time, you can make it very specific, where it's a hero SKU plus a specific free gift or a specific bundle, right? It's different in that sense. And then the third thing is really LTV, right? You got to keep that in mind on what you're selling, because ultimately, if you have high LTV, like we talked about with Purdy and Fig, huge upfront value being delivered to the end customer that's seeing that offer. Why? It's because they make up their money on the back end versus, like a brand selling baby carriers, for example, like a Wild Bird. They have to be first order profitable on it because not a ton of LTV. They're selling baby carriers, and that's what people are getting. And so you got to be very careful with how you craft that offer to ensure that you're still first order profitable. So those are like the three things to really keep in mind at a high level. And are there just like existing behaviors, right, that you don't actually have an offer around that you just want to amplify and turn it into an offer and start selling it so you can just amplify that behavior that customers are already like organically taking. So those would be the four things. And just to like quickly regurgitate them, it would be product COGS, basket predictability, LTV of that offer, what's the expected LTV, and then just amplifying existing behaviors. These are the four things to keep in mind when you come up with offers for your brand and the products within your brand that you're selling.
Beautiful.
Alrighty. Okay. Any questions on that you think the audience may have? I know I'm just rambling, going down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
I think now it's just showcasing like maybe how we built it.
But I'll just show you what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So I want to show you basically two completely different types of brands. One has high LTV, one has lower LTV. One has high permutations, like low, like basket predictability. One has high basket predictability. I just want to walk you through, okay, based on those things, and then different cost of goods as well. But based on those things, like where does our head go for offers? So I'll start with one here. This is like a part of a GUI sheet that we'll put together. And what you're looking at here is just within Shopify, the total sales by product, right? And you can see, okay, net items sold, the amount of revenue that it makes up, and then the percentage, right, of revenue that these products make up of the collective. And so as you can see, like this product right here is getting 74% of all orders. That is nuts. And so very low permutation here. This is a very, what I would consider a very predictable cart. So right out the gates, I'm making offers around this thing for sure. I want to drive more of this. I want to amplify this because also, and then another thing to keep in mind on this, and I'll just keep going into this as well. Like, okay, here's the average cart size. Okay, 13% of people are ordering 2 products when they come to the website. So, okay, this is a great behavior that we like to see, that we want to amplify further. Let's get them ordering more products and taking more products home. Okay, awesome. So we're looking at the order distribution here. How many people order 1 product, order 2 products, order 3 products, and onwards. So the only real one here that's significant is 2, but that's good to see. Let's try to get this even higher, right? And then from here, we'll look at what are the top baskets across those 2 orders. This is where it gets less, I would say, less predictable, but this is where we can have fun and test a lot of different things. So again, basket predictability. What is very predictable about this? 1 to 2 cart size makes up 95% of the orders. That's pretty predictable from a cart size. We definitely know that this is very predictable. 74% of the orders, is selling this product. The only thing that's not incredibly predictable is which 2 products are being ordered together. This isn't super predictable. It's very different. Okay. The next thing after like cart predictability to keep in mind here is LTV, in which this is a high LTV brand. This product here gets them into a 30-day subscription, in which, again, we already chatted about this with Purdy and Fig earlier. When it comes to this brand, similar, like I want this initial offer to have high perceived value where I'm potentially even willing to be less than first order profitable at the end of the day. So long as I know that's like a big buzz word being making sure you're first order profitable. But you could be actually, doing your brand a disservice where it leads to less top line revenue and less overall, greater like overall profitability if you don't. So all that to say though, with high LTV, I'm just willing to make this offer really, really sweet and potentially be willing to go, less than first order profitable, for sure, if it makes sense to push top line revenue and overall profitability further into the green over
Which,
the
I
course of
mean,
time.
which in our forecasting methodology, or for you guys who are doing cohort analysis, you're gonna know your LTV. So like you can make these model bets. This isn't just like a question mark on, whether your LTV is going to shake out. You should know on a per product level what the LTV of this product and what your cohort overall like repeat rates are to make this a modeled bet that's very consistent using historical data.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So to get to like some of the punchline here, some of the offers that we're testing on behalf of this brand is, again, we're testing offers like we're testing creative. I want to drive more subscriptions of this brand. I want to continue to scale this. I want to amplify this behavior because it's a good one. Like this brand is actually one of the fastest growing companies right now and being like awarded for it. So I want to amplify this even further. It's crushing it. People love it. I want to get more subscriptions and build out my retention cohorts in a very powerful way. So one of the things that we're doing is we're offering this product with free gift. This could be the 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 free gift. All these things. Because why? The most powerful one from a COG, because that's the third thing to keep in mind. Like from a COG's perspective, they can afford it. Ultimately, when you take into consideration the LTV and everything else, like we're just trying to make this as sweet of a deal for the end user as possible, to get them to drive and convert on this product. And so this is the thing to keep in mind, though. We're not just running this offer to run the offer, and it's just going to be less efficient than the existing offer that's on like the website, for example, where this product is being offered as a subscription, and it's like, hey, if you opt into the subscription, it's 15% off. Hey, we're gonna look at that margin, and we're gonna look at the LTV profile and make sure we're going after, if it has the same LTV profile to do this, this product plus a free gift with the 15% off, for example, to drive them into subscription, we're going to make sure that we go after a higher efficiency target for acquisition to make sure that these things are all things equal. But the idea is that this converts at a more efficient clip and has a higher conversion rate. Or
Right.
that's what we want to be testing. That's what we're testing here. Like, hey, we know that this product on its own with 15% off to drive subscriptions works well, and it's scaling, but we're not satisfied with that. Let's see if we can go get more. Right? Let's see if this resonates with an unlocked new audience where we can unlock further growth and further spend against our cost caps at, the efficiency clip that levels out to the same contribution margin, LTV, first order, both. So that's how we're thinking about this. And that's what we're doing on behalf of this brand here. So it becomes, hey, let's sell this subscription, but add on a free gift. Make sure we take into consideration all the COGS and full cost delivery and the LTV into consideration to ensure that we're leveling up to our overall profitability goals for this. And one last thing to mention on this, the reason why the free gift is also so powerful is there's nothing more powerful than to introduce your product into the hands of customers. Why? One, it's just giving your customer more value. But two, what I really love about it is it's introducing them to another product that they can potentially come back and order and potentially subscribe to. So it's only elevating retention and returning customer revenue as well as you
It's all
introduce
upside.
that. Yeah, it's all upside, right? So that's how we're thinking about this brand based on, again, COGS, basket predictability, LTV, to then come up with some of the offers here that we're presenting to you today. Alrighty, jumping into a separate brand now, pretty different. So versus the previous brand where, you have high LTV, you got plenty of room on COGS, and you have a very predictable cart. This brand doesn't have very much LTV, so we need to be first order profitable. So definitely need to be first order profitable to level up to our top line and overall profitability goals at the P&L level. COGS, okay, there's room there for sure. No LTV and basket predictability, cart predictability is very low. There's massive permutations in this business, high permutations. So you can see here, like total sales by product. I mean, if you compare this to the other brand, right, 74% at the top hero product, the first two products make up 80% of the orders. To get to we're going down, 50 products here, and we're at 57%. So it's like, yes, there's clearly a hero here in this top product with somewhat of a second. But yeah, definitely very high permutations, very low cart predictability here. And then going into kind of the top two combinations, top three combinations, again, not very predictable, a ton of permutations. And so when it comes to something like this, an offer that we would look to do is more so, again, if you don't have cart predictability, you don't want to put together specific offers. When I say specific offers, I mean really hone in on this SKU,
This bundle.
this bundle, this BOGO with specific products. No, we want to drive to, for example, and this is what we did for this brand. Hey, what do we want? What do we want to amplify here? I want to amplify, and what product category does this brand exist within? This is a jewelry brand, right? Jewelry brands, clothing brands, if they have a pretty big product catalog. My head goes to like supplement shops that offer all the things.
Right.
There's going to be high permutations there and low cart predictability. Where okay, but where can we amplify how many units they're driving? So, orders of 2, orders of 3. Let's amplify these behaviors by driving people to a collection page, for example, with your top products. Let's say that makes sense, that people do order together. Like, take all that into consideration, put those products, top 10, top 15, onto a collection page, and then give them threshold offers, right? And what I mean by that is like, what's the desired amount that you want them to spend with you that translates well into the efficiency target that takes into consideration your cost of delivery, again, the LTV, all these things. Where, for example, for this brand, we said spend $100 and then you get a free gift. And that free gift was this top performing product. But that threshold offer can really be anything. Spend $100, get free shipping. Spend $100, get this top performing product that everyone loves. Spend $100, whatever, right? That's where we went with this. And the reason for that was just because how high the permutations were. And that's ultimately how you want to be thinking about this. That's kind of like the delineation between two brands that are on pretty opposite sides of the spectrum here. And the things that you want to be taking into consideration when you do this exercise and figure out, what offers make sense for your brands and your specific products. And one last thing to keep in mind too is every product has a different LTV. Every product has a different cost of delivery. So it's almost like each individual product is an individual brand that you do need to be tracking on an individual basis as well and see how that levels up and impacts, again, your overall profitability and top line revenue as you scale.
Well, I mean, the brands, Taylor, that you brought up, like one with, high predictability of, basically that top selling product, with number 2 being like, 95%. To back up even before that, what we were really testing and what really crushed and it unlocked additional scale was like the subscription component that they had not actually done. It was like still high LTV without even a subscription, and that only increased when we introduced that offer in that account. And then obviously the other brand with not as good LTV, and there's like a lot of like cart unpredictability. We're starting to see some additional like spend, and those are early stages with some of those offers. But my mind goes back to when we unlocked, and this is to kind of give Vermont some love. This is like on their website as a case study, but just the offer that we came up with Southern Scholar and, the buy 4, get 4. And that was really around, this is another part of it, you guys, which is just, if you have seasonality with your brand where there's not, it's like one of your worst months, or like July was for this brand, this can be another opportunity to unlock additional scale where it's like, maybe you guys were entering into Q4. This is going to be your Super Bowl for a lot of brands, or it's some of your worst moments if you're like a food and beverage brand and you're kind of waiting for Q5, January. But how do you unlock additional scale, or how do you create a marketing moment for your brand where like you're lacking seasonality, or you're lacking purchases, or you're down? This is where I would go into the offer testing kind of brainstorm sesh going into, some of your worst months of the year. That was certainly the case with Southern Scholar.
For sure. And just thinking about Southern Scholar and how we're going through kind of this matrix to come up with those offers, right? Southern Scholar, it's socks, cost of goods, sock brands, phenomenal. Plenty of room to like offer more socks, right? As a part of a bundle or as part of like a buy four, get four. That's what allows us to do that. Really low COGS. And then when it comes to like cart predictability, everyone's coming for socks, but we just chose, the top performing socks to be a part of that hero offer. And we just kind of did buy four, get four across different colors. And we just analyzed, how are people buying? What type of socks do they order together? Again, cart behavior that we take into consideration to do these 4x4 offers, buy four, get four. LTV wise, not an LTV brand really. When people buy socks, just think about how you buy socks and your behavior around them. One, I think it's a very competitive space that people don't have a ton of loyalty to. But two, when it comes to dress socks specifically, you might load up on dress socks once a year. And that's where like buy four, get four offer comes from. We're saying we're taking care of you kind of for this year's set of socks that you buy. So we had to be first order profitable. But I think the brand initially gave us some concern, and what most brands will do is say, I can't afford to do that. No, hey, listen, we're going to set a target efficiency wise that we need to hit to make this margin make sense. And this actually bumped their profitability up by like 10 points because it just led to such greater conversion rate and such greater efficiency on the offer itself, even though we were providing this massive discount through free product.
Tactically, I already kind of threw for Mott some love. The reason why we love them is because we can test as many offers, and the beauty of that tool is that you can test it on an island without affecting the mainland. And kind of what you open this podcast with, like testing creative, it very much aligns with that. Creative is probably always going to be number one in terms of the lever that you can pull on to achieve unlock scale, but offers is obviously a close second. Tactically, are we breaking these down into, at the ad set level, is each new offer getting its own campaign? Probably quickly touch on that.
Yeah, we'll break out basically off anything that leads to a different financial outcome. We'll break it out at the campaign level, just because we want to optimizing at the same financial outcome that we're after, and to have all of that campaign's data optimizing towards that financial outcome. And so different offers lend themselves to different financial outcomes because they have different cost deliveries, they have different AOVs, they have different LTVs, which lends itself to different targets. Those are all the things that you need to keep in mind as you set targets. If there's a different target, I'm breaking it out into a separate campaign.
Cool. I mean, anything else to wrap up?
Test offers like you test creative, shake and bake.
We've seen it unlock ad accounts that were stuck. Dramatically improve conversion rate and completely transform the business in a short time. So I think, guys, your homework is simple. Audit your current offers. Are you just selling products at full price? Are you doing week 10% off pop-ups? And that's your like new customer offer, right? I think you should, based on your business and based on what Taylor talked through, you got to know, okay, am I high LTV? I would do some of the exercises of understanding what are people buying? How often are they buying it? What is the cart size? Go through those three different things. The goal isn't just to increase your AOV. The goal is to give your customers a compelling reason to buy, right? Like the Purdy and Fig example that you proved, which is get them through the door and give them a reason to come back, improve your unit economics, and potentially improve your LTV. So
as you speak, you're just you're giving me more things that I'm thinking about just as takeaways.
I love it.
There's two things. One would be like, at its core, what are we looking to do? Like, how are we thinking about this on our end? We run everything, as everyone knows, we run cost controls. Our cost controls are set up in line with our efficiency target and our profitability target that we're after, right? And so the main thing that we're trying to do here is just like, from a creative standpoint, from an offer standpoint, I'm just trying to find at our efficiency target in a million different ways how to get spend through this cost cap. Because if it gets through, it means I'm adding top line revenue at our overall profitability goal. And so even when you find something that's working creatively and offer, don't settle. Let's go get more. Like, that's great. That's scaling you. Let's go scale more though. Let's compete for more and more and more and more. Use all of that real estate in your ad account to find more spend at your desired profitability goal with cost caps. That's one. Two, I feel like people may just need to hear this point doubled down on that you already shared, which is, don't let the barrier of entry be like, I can't test this many offers because it's just going to confuse the end customer that's coming to my website. Like, that's not what we're saying. Test offers in a silo. through Meta, for example, where the only people that will see those landing pages are the people that are, seeing that ad and clicking that shop now button and going to that landing page. There's plenty of platforms out there. Our one of choice is Vermont that allow you to do that. What we're not saying is test a million of these things. Every 3 days you're switching out the offer on your website. No. Again, what Cody had said, test these things on an island through siloed landing pages, figure out what works. And if then you find your hero that's really crushing it, then put that on your homepage, on your website, and move forward with that. But you're always testing things on a silo on the side.
Love it. If this was helpful, make sure you subscribe. As always, we got more episodes coming down the pipe. And if you implement any of these offer strategies, we'd love to hear about your results. Drop a comment.
Come
send
on.
us a message. And as always, thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, guys.